for more discussion on the issue, we're joined in the studio by Dr. Yonatan Freeman from the Department of Political Science at Hebrew University. Thanks for being with us to discuss an interesting aspect of this where we see China taking this obviously very seriously, hearing about the lockdown of tens of millions of citizens. No freedom of press or information, even in China. So, we know entire provinces are locked down now. What is this? How does this compare to other situations we've seen China deal with, or what are we supposed to be reading from the outside about the situation?
Well, I think as you put it, millions right now are affected, more than 50 million people. So I think that's one number which is providing us a variable which really tells us about the situation in China, because on the other hand, the variable is saying maybe 2,000 are infected, maybe 60 have been really killed by this virus. But when you compare it to the millions that are under lockdown, I think that really what's under lockdown is the information and the fact that we're not really getting the big picture as to what really is happening in China.
So, for now, we're hearing some foreign journalists getting access to the Hubei province, but then being told to leave, big closures taking place. So there's some access now, but we're seeing these images of dozens of cranes digging, space for huge new medical facilities. Concerning, obviously very concerning. What do you believe we're going to see next from China here?
Well, I think the main issue right now that China wants to deal with is the information that's coming from undocumented sources, individuals in those cities, medical personnel. And I think we're already seeing censorship of actual people posting on social media, different channels being banned, being pulled out of the air. So I think if this continues the next few days, I really see that they might be even disconnecting the internet in some of these areas that are under lockdown.
That's right. Over these recent days here, I've seen some of that cell phone footage sort of sneaking out. It was shocking, really, to see these gigantic cities look like ghost towns here. Now, how are foreign governments, and from what you can tell and your impression of this, how are foreign governments taking this seriously? We understand the U.S. is enacting a lot of sort of border controls. Has Israel done anything specific here, or what are the Israeli authorities doing?
Well, we already have a dozen countries, if I believe that I see in the reports, that have already cases, and Israel had a few cases which we thought are possibilities. Right now, we ruled them out. I think the biggest variable and biggest challenge that Israel has is what's going on with the Palestinian areas, where we have less of a way to make sure those coming in are up to par with the health standards. So I think one thing that we're doing right now is working with our own airports to make sure no one's coming in from those affected areas and seeing who those people are, but also interacting with the Palestinian health authorities to make sure their filtering systems don't allow those individuals to come into their areas and then come here into Israel.
And I know this is coupled with a major travel season in China, and obviously we're seeing the extreme concerns now, as I mentioned, leading into this in Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York. So you think the next real concerning sign we could see would be internet lockdown or some further sort of clamp down on information out of China?
Yeah, I think clamp down information. If we look domestically here in Israel, as you said, it's the new year in China, and many workers here in Israel, thousands, have returned to China. And after the holiday, they'll be returning to Israel. And right now, they're able to come back here. So I think that once they arrive, this might even raise the bar in terms of public discourse as to what we need to do about those thousands of workers from China returning to Israel.
Breaking situation for us here, for the world. So appreciate you being with us here, helping us decipher what we're seeing and a bit of what to expect next. Dr. Yonatan Freeman, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Well, now, another story we've been